Hello, everyone. We want to welcome you to today's episode.
Yeah.
This is
Real Conversations with Sheeta and
Nikki. So we want to welcome you to our March podcast, which happens to be National Women's Month. Mm-hmm. So on this month, we are going to feature female entrepreneurs.
Yep.
So just to give a little tidbit about this month's celebration of women, it was actually founded in 1978. Mm-hmm. It originally started off as a week by a woman named Gilda Lerner. Mm-hmm. Eventually, it went into becoming a month. So we have a whole month to celebrate women.
Yeah.
So on today's episode, we have a special guest, which happens to be my niece, Alicia. Yes. So we want to talk to her about her different businesses, which happen to be.
So Alicia, she has two businesses. She has a business called Doc Dazzle, and she's got Flavor. So from my understanding, Doc Dazzle is a custom-made, she makes custom-made t-shirts, accessories, and blinged items. And she also has a catering business called She Got Flavor, right, Alicia?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to, just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Alicia. I'm a wife and mother, and currently I'm a serial entrepreneur. Thinking about the way things started, it was basically built upon things that I like. One day I was looking on the internet, and for some reason that day, bling shoes came to mind. Mm-hmm. So I looked at some shoes, and these were some bad shoes. Like they were like turquoise with a peacock on them. And you know, you scroll down and you look at the price.
Yeah.
And they were like $995. Hold up. This was around Christmas time. Christmas of, I can't even remember what year. And I thought like, man, I'm gonna make those shoes. I'm gonna make some shoes like that. Mm-hmm. The next Christmas rolls around, and I don't know why. Again, I'm thinking about those shoes, and I hadn't done anything. I was like, man, you know what? I don't have time to order the sequins because you know you got to do all that research.
Yeah.
So I went to the store and I bought some sequins. And I started kind of playing around with the sequins, which led me to say like, no, I really need to go out and find out where I can buy rhinestones for a reasonable price. Because typically if you go to Hobby Lobby, they don't have the ones that you're looking for, or you go to Michael's, they have the ones that are so expensive by the time you make the shoe.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you about $1,000. So
right.
It took me a little time to figure out who my vendor would be and how I would make these shoes. Funny thing is, I never made those shoes though.
Okay.
But I did do my wedding shoes. So I did eventually do a shoe for myself, and I got 2 pairs in the closet that I did one shoe, and I probably need to finish those shoes.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
But over the course of time, it kind of took off because I don't know how. Oh, I know how I got into graduation caps. A girl, one of my students saw that I was doing like a little bling, and she was like, "Oh, you should do my graduation cap." And I'm like, okay, you know, why not? So that's kind of how I got started with graduation caps. And the graduation caps actually were I made a lot of money with those graduation caps. I didn't charge what I could have charged because I did it for a lot of my students, but it was to the point where my husband would make jokes about me working in a sweatshop because I would be up there like bling.
Yeah.
And I'm a creative person, so over the course of time, I kind of evolved into doing t-shirts. I saw somebody doing it, and I thought like, oh man, I could do that. So at first, I was going to do bling t-shirts, but getting the transfers I liked and all of that, I didn't follow through. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't follow through.
Yeah.
So I still got some of the little transfers that I bought like years ago. But I started doing more research, and I started to learn about the Cricut machine and the silhouette machine. So I didn't have the money
the
to
Cricut
get it
machine.
right away. What I did was I ordered it from QVC, and I got like, you know, the $50 a month or whatever. And eventually it has paid for itself.
Yeah.
And I started doing t-shirts for like friends. And then, you know, I worked with students a lot. So I started doing t-shirts for students and for student groups. And that kind of grew me. Right now, I'm kind of at a pause on that because everybody's making t-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm eventually going to get back in the game, but right now the market is so saturated.
Yeah.
People want stuff for pennies on the dollar. And if you're not giving away your good stuff for almost free, why should I give away my time and my talent for free? So I will still do t-shirts for people, but not as much because I'm actually involved into the whole She Got Flavor.
Okay.
And She Got Flavor essentially came from my love of cooking. Like, Nicole can tell you about my first meals, and
Yes.
she loves to laugh about my spaghetti, but it was fun.
Yes, I gotta give a tidbit about that, right? So me and Alicia, we're actually the same age, and we were pretty much raised as sisters. So she used to come up with all these type of different things when we was teenagers. I think one time I went in your room and there was a plate in there. And I was like, what is that yellow stuff? And you was like, oh, I made some mustard spaghetti. I was like, oh my God. But later on, you know, hey, that was a stepping stone to where you are now. So definitely. And this is something that you actually just founded. Were we talking about this last year about the catering, how you were trying to get it off the ground more or less? Yeah, we were talking about it like last year, and I have to say I'm very proud of you. You've got your own logo now. I can't wait for everything to get off the ground. Yes. Yeah. So, and also I do have to throw in a tidbit too about those t-shirts. She made me 2 t-shirts. I think I ordered 1, but you surprised me with 2. And I love them. It was some Barbie t-shirts. And I love them. So I actually still wear them to this day. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I think it's creative in that way because everybody isn't creative like that to come up with, you know, the bling items and the shirts and stuff. I think it really does take like a creative mindset to really come up with those things, you know, and to be able to do it on your own and be able to, you know, be that entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And really take charge of your life and what you want to do. So I think that's amazing, Alicia, that you can come up with all of those ideas and actually put action behind it and get it going.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool.
Definitely. And you were self-taught with the bedazzling. You just did it yourself.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I have saw the work that you've done with just all that. So, you know, just one of the things that we were talking about, like right now it's just you. So do you think eventually you see this turning into something so much bigger, like you're going to have that additional help where you're going to be hiring employees and things of that, or you just want to kind of maybe keep it small, you think, with maybe just the help of your husband, or what's your goals for the business?
First of all, my husband can't cook, so no. We good on that. But one thing, my son wants to be a chef. Like, I really don't want to get too large, honestly, because I feel like in regards to the cooking, I never want to cater a 200-person wedding. And the reason I say that is because I feel like it would take away from the flavor. Because when you're working on a scale that large, you know, you can't put those extra touches in. It kind of becomes mechanical. Like, I got to get this meat that starts with vegetable, this meat that starts with vegetable. As compared to when I do smaller things. Like, I love to look at the people eat my food. So I can't walk around 200 people like that. Is that good?
Right.
So you can't cater, in my personal opinion. People do it all the time, and I give them their props. But for me, my goal more so is to focus on, like, if you're having a dinner party, I want to be the person to cater your dinner party. I would love to do your tablescape. Like, my ultimate dream is to allow someone, like, if they're having a party, all they gotta do is focus on eating beautiful. I got the rest. Right. Like, I want to create the whole experience. You know, if I'm doing a dinner party, like, if you're having a dinner party, I want to give you the whole experience. I want the tablescape, the food, the flavors, you know, the wine, whatever. Like, that's more so what I want to focus on. I want to help people who get tired of eating McDonald's every day, or takeout food, meal prepping, you know, for either health or just to have a nice, nourishing meal. Something that, when I cook for my husband, I love, like, when he got to go to work and I'm making his lunch, like, I make sure everybody in the cafeteria is jealous. Yeah. Like, and he sits around, he eats his lunch like, yeah, I know. It's good. Yeah. So, I want to provide that for everybody. I want people to, you know, almost steal your lunch out the refrigerator. Yeah. But since I got my information on top of the packaging, you don't have to steal it. You can just hit me up and I got you too.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a passion when you really love what you're doing, you know, and you're excited about preparing that meal for your husband. Like, that's a real passion. You're really serving a purpose with just cooking your meals and making sure everybody else is happy and making sure they're enjoying every meal and the whole experience. Like, that's a true passion, to really think of all those different elements. Because someone may not really think of all of those different things, but, you know, since this is your passion and your purpose, those things just come to you naturally, it sounds like. And that's how you really know when you're really fulfilling your purpose and you love what you do. Yeah. Now, a quick word from our sponsors. So I have to ask you, like, what is, like, one of your favorite meals, or one of the favorite meals your husband likes for you to cook?
Nicole has also tasted this, but my seafood boils.
I love
down to perfection. I love Cajun food. And I kind of want Nikki to tell, but I want Nicole to tell that story about how she tasted my crawfish, my Cajun boil.
Oh, I love seafood.
You want me to go into the whole thing? The whole story? Okay, so me and my family, we traveled down to Texas to go see Lisa. She had just had a major surgery. We were all scared for her, but she pulled through, thank God. And when you get home from the hospital, the first day, within, what was it, a few hours, she wanted to cook for us.
Coming from the hospital?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. And we was like, nah, just, you know, we want you to rest. We just here to support. And she was like, nah, this is what I want to do. And she made a seafood boil for everybody. How many of us was it? It was, what, 4 of us or 5 of us that traveled down there, right?
About 5.
Yeah, it was 5 of us that traveled down there, plus your son and your husband and yourself. 8 people that you cooked the seafood boil for. And when I tell you it was good, it was good. It was no skipping, and like she said, the flavor. Because I've had some seafood boils before, and you like, this not the same like that other place that I went to.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's lacking, it's watery tasting, no flavor. It was perfection. It was perfection. So everybody that's lucky enough to experience that down in Texas, like, y'all really on to something. You know, we'll have to wait for you to come back here. to get that. And then look, now you gotta cook some for Rashida too when you come back.
I love seafood. Ooh.
Yes. So yeah, it was very good. No skimping. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a passion right there.
Mm-hmm.
Coming home.
But do you know why I did it?
No. I just figured because you wanted to do it. Like a passion.
Well, what Nicole didn't say, being I had brain surgery.
Yeah. I didn't want to.
Like, I literally had brain surgery. So I went in on a Monday, came home on a Saturday. But I had guests. And when you have guests, you got to entertain those guests.
Yeah.
Because it was my mom's birthday, actually. And she wanted me, but she wanted to go to Red Lobster because she had a coupon. And I'm like, I am not about to be sitting up in Red Lobster.
Right.
Because one eye was kind of swollen shut and the other one was kind of half open. And I'm like, I am not going to be sitting there looking like a domestic violence victim. And then y'all not leaving me at home.
Right.
So I made sure my mother had a good meal, and I made sure that when my family left, they had a good meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because those are the things that mean a whole lot to me. Like food always brings family together. I hate to say it, food and funerals, but food brings family together.
Yeah.
If you say you having something at your house and people know you got good food,
right, they coming. They coming for sure.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. So what do you feel like is some of the struggles that you've had since becoming an entrepreneur? And what advice would you give someone that's on their road to entrepreneurship?
well, first and foremost, procrastination and self-doubt. Like, we all are so busy that when you got time, most times you do want to waste it. You know, you want to do something mindless, but you don't want to sit down and put in the work that it takes to make things happen, because, you know, you typically work an 8-hour job. So when you come home, you got to cook, you got to probably clean up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you got kids, you got to help with homework or make sure they get their homework.
Yeah.
You know, you want to spend a little time with your spouse. You want to watch your favorite shows and all of that. So by the time you look up, it's bedtime again. So that means you not getting a lot done.
Right.
So scheduling in that time and not procrastinating, that's the hardest thing to do, because you get on Facebook and you on there mindlessly for like hours, LOLing and girl, did you see her and all of that, and again, you have done nothing. So just scheduling that time to do what you need to do, and that's something that I'm still learning to do, because I do want to sit. I'm a news fanatic. I do want to sit and watch CNN off of that. I do want to, you know, just do what I want to do. But the only way that I'm going to get to where I'm going is if I actually schedule that time for myself, whether it's at night or early morning. Because there are times I burn the candle on both ends, where I will get up before work, especially in regards to the dabbling. Well, I'll get up in the morning at like 4 or 5 o'clock before work, and I've been there like, all right, come on, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the biggest thing with myself. I feel like, as far as scheduling time, you know, it's like, since we're in this pandemic, things are not like how they used to be, because there used to be some type of order. We would get up, go and be at work at 8 o'clock. Well, myself, I get there 7:15. So I'm always there extra early, but it's like now you don't have to get up and go to the office, and it's like, if I can lay down, or even if I get up early, I'm not making the most use of my time as I should be.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something that I work on the daily.
Yeah.
It's just trying to get some type of scheduling done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for me too. Like, it is hard to staying on task with what you need to get done, since we don't have that. Our jobs are so flexible, so where we can kind of go in whenever we want to. It's not like a set time. So since we do have all this time, with the quarantine and the pandemic, it's like now we really have to zone in and focus on what we need to get done and stay structured so that we get those tasks done. It can definitely be like a hard thing to do at first, but it's something, like you said, Nicole, it's something that you have to continuously work on, like every day, every week, to make things a priority so that it gets done.
I agree. I agree.
So, Alicia, like, what are some things that have kept you like motivated?
I guess one of the things that kept me motivated is I left my job. I didn't leave my job to not have a job, but I left my job because that's one of the things that was really bringing me down. I have worked for a university for 12 years. And throughout that time, it had taken a lot of my spirit. Although I loved my students, and they brought me business. I gotta say, they brought me business. When they found out what I did, they were like, oh man, she do this, she do that. And that's the thing that keeps you going. But things changed. Like, under different administrations, things were a little bit more lax. Things were a little different. But this one situation occurred, and I just realized, like, I can't take this no more. Like, if a job make you cry, if it hurts you down deep to the soul, you got to do something different. And in that moment, something snapped in me because a new situation came to be, and it was just like, I'm miserable. I am miserable. My stomach hurts every day I go to work. Like, I'm freaking miserable. Like, I loved my coworkers, but this new change, miserable. I mean, I hated going to work every day. And there was a person that made me feel like I didn't know how to do anything right, no matter what I did. I didn't do anything right except I dressed nice. So you made me feel like I was just a walking outfit, but with no intelligence or common sense. And I thank that person, though. I really do, because if it had not been for that person kind of attacking me as an individual, and I probably would still be there miserable. But I thank that person, because in that moment, I decided I was gonna quit. I came home, I talked to my husband, and I told him that I had a plan. And you know how God laughs at our plan.
Right.
So I had a plan. I was going to do this, that, and the third. So I started looking for jobs on Indeed, and I didn't even want to be within that field anymore. I didn't want to be involved with that because I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, even though I'm the person that started the program with the folk. So I was like, no, my confidence was down. So I decided to go and, I knew I wanted to work from home because I hadn't actually enjoyed working from home during the pandemic because it just allowed me time to be in my space. We spend so much money on rent, mortgage, all this and all that, but how much time do we spend at home? Back in the day, if we went to the club and spent $20, we wanted to be there all night long.
Okay, get this $20 worth.
So, being home, that was just my goal. And I guess it's like when they say you manifest things, because when that individual started, I told them I was going to be there another year. And the way things worked out, it honestly probably was a year to the day, some weeks, whatever. But it worked out. And I started looking. I'm just applying for jobs. And I did not know Indeed had an inbox. So when I looked, I was like, what's this? And I had a message. And it was about the job that I'm working at presently. And it was just like, and of course, you get scared, like, man, what if they're trying to scam me? What if? So I did the interviews, and everything worked out. And here I am, probably about 7 months in, 8 months in, not quite sure, because when you're having a good time, you kind of don't even track.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I love my job. It's completely out of my field. But at this job, even though it's a very male-oriented field, and it's more males that don't look like me.
Okay.
So to know that I'm thriving within this field, I'm respected. You know, like my work is appreciated, and I thoroughly enjoy the fact that I am at home, and I thoroughly enjoy that it gives me the opportunity to work on what I do. Like,
Right.
I'm honing in on my cooking skills because I don't really have a set schedule.
Yeah.
If I want to cook at 10 o'clock, I can cook at 10 o'clock. If I want to cook at noon, whenever I feel like I want to do what I want to do, which if you were to go to my Facebook or Instagram page, I'm kind of documenting my meals now because I'm looking to plan a more solid meal. I love to experiment, and typically when I cook, I'm just sitting there like, ooh, put a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Right.
And you never remember what you put in stuff unless you make it a lot.
Yeah.
So now I can look back at this food and say, oh, okay, I remember when I made that. I'm gonna make that again, but this time I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. So everything is working out because of course I'm lazy, so I don't jump on it like I should, but I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a whole lot better than what I was.
Yeah. And that's good that you even recognize like your challenges. Like you said, sometimes you don't always feel up to it, but at least you recognize that and like, okay, I recognize this and this is something that I need to work on and fix. Oh, and you get up and you keep going and you know what I'm saying, you get better at it. You think of new ways to perfect your craft, and I think that's amazing that you're this entrepreneur that has all of these ideas and you're putting action behind these ideas. And that's what an entrepreneur does. It's not just about talking about it, it's about actually doing it. And Alicia, you're doing it.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And then it's also important too, I think, to surround yourself by like-minded people that inspire you and keep you going. And I know just you and Rashida, y'all really keep me going because I talk to Rashida, I see her at work. We talk throughout the week. Me and you, we have our weekly phone calls every Sunday at 10. And, no matter if we're on there for an hour or 2 hours, we're still inspiring each other, coming up with new ideas and suggestions. I'll help you with some things. You've helped me out with a lot of things, too. So I think, too, just to surround yourself, if you are an entrepreneur already or someone that is looking to be an entrepreneur, just make sure you try to surround yourself with some like-minded people and someone who's not gonna shoot your ideas down, because I'm sure people probably could have came or did come to you and said, well, what you want to leave your job for, and what you want to do this cooking thing or this bedazzling thing. Like, don't let anyone shoot your dreams down, no matter what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
That you want to do.
That is true.
Yeah.
And the things I can say, I have a very supportive husband because, of course, he loves to eat. So,
yes.
But even like he has supported my business. When I said I wanted to do t-shirts, he went out and he bought me the press machine. He went out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a sublimation printer. Like, he has supported that. Like, he has sat with me when I was bedazzling.
That's support.
Something that you got to really be thankful for, because if you don't have a supportive spouse, you really won't get things done, because you kind of feed off of the energy that's around you.
Yeah.
So I can say, like, every day I do want to punch him in his stomach, but I love him and I'm not. But he drives me to be better. He really drives me to be better. And my old sarcastic son. Because he's not impressed by nothing I do. He's not impressed. So he really makes me strive to do better because I don't think I just threw it down. And I'm like, how was that? He'd be like, it was all right.
Right, just all right. Come on now.
Right, exactly. But you know what? Really, on the slide, you probably really are inspiring him because if he wants to be a chef, just by him seeing what you're doing in the kitchen, that's inspiring him to like, okay, I can do this, you know. Because he probably going to be helping you out in a minute. Like, come on, be my sous chef. I need these things cut up.
That's what I need. Because one of my things is order. And that's something that I'm learning to do better. Because I am so free flow. Like, what's onions in here? Like, I want to be more orderly. Like, I want to have everything pre-prepared. And in my mind, what I want to do. So, I'm ready. I need a sous chef. I need somebody that's going to be on my side. Like, all right, Mom, slow down, chop the onions. Just more focus me. Yeah. And then take some of that off of me. Because, you spend so much time cooking. Cook for 2-3 hours to eat for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. I agree.
Alicia, do you want to tell everybody your like Instagram page where they can follow you? If they wanted to order some, t-shirts or wanted to know more about your meal planning, do you have like a Instagram page or a website that you wanted to share so that people can follow you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm under DOCDAZZLES.dazzles. And on Instagram, I'm under She Got Flavor. And I want to say She_got_flavor.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely looking forward to those meal preps. Maybe you can send some this way.
Right. That seafood boil.
Yes.
Start being able to ship food.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, what's the best way to ship it without, spoiling, spilling, package correctly and arriving at the correct temperature.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us and kicking off our March episode, which is highlighting women entrepreneurs for this month's podcast. On every podcast that we have, we like to do a takeaway. So, Rashida, what's our takeaway for today's episode?
So today's takeaway for this episode is a quote from Mel Robbins, and it says, "Your dreams are not too big, and you are not too much. You are growing like a plant. And if you feel stuck where you are, it might be time for a new pot."
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on Real Conversations
with Sheeta
and Nikki.